Humanity has reached the height of its technological advancement, exploring the far reaches of the galaxy and building alliances with alien civilizations. But during a routine diplomatic mission to a newly discovered system, humanity stumbles upon the Cerebra, an ancient network of sentient minds that exist without physical forms. These beings reveal that the universe is not a random collection of stars and planets. It is a construct, a vast simulation designed to keep them imprisoned. The revelation shakes humanity to its core. When the Cerebra offer humans a chance to escape the simulation and glimpse the real universe, the crew must grapple with a harrowing decision: free themselves and risk everything, or remain in the comfortable illusion of their reality. The Eidolon, humanity's most advanced diplomatic vessel, hovered above the shimmering expanse of Drezia Prime, a newly discovered world on the edge of explored space. Captain Alara Venn leaned against the panoramic viewport, her sharp eyes scanning the swirling clouds and glowing rivers of the alien world below. This was supposed to be a standard mission, a handshake with the Drezians, a newly encountered species, and an agreement to share technology. But something felt wrong. "Captain," Commander Rin Callis said, his voice taut, "we've detected an unusual energy signature beneath the planet's surface. It's massive and unlike anything in our database." Alara turned, her curiosity piqued. "Natural or artificial?" Rin hesitated. "Neither, or both. It doesn't make sense." Before she could respond, the ship's AI, Orion, interrupted. "Captain, the Drezians have requested an immediate meeting. They insist you come alone." Alara frowned. "Alone? That's not protocol." Orion's voice softened. "They claim it's a matter of great urgency. Their message included coordinates deep within the planet's core." Reluctantly, Alara descended to the planet's surface in a small shuttle. The coordinates led her to a vast cavern, its walls shimmering with veins of liquid light. The air hummed with an energy that made her skin tingle. At the center of the cavern stood a group of Drezians, their crystalline forms pulsing with a faint glow. Their leader, who introduced herself telepathically as Vial, projected a sense of urgency. "We summoned you because we have no choice," Vial said. "You must know the truth about the universe." "The truth?" Alara asked, stepping closer. Vial gestured to the glowing walls. "This is not your reality. It is a prison built eons ago by forces beyond your comprehension, and now the prison is failing." Alara blinked, unsure if she had misunderstood. "You're saying the universe is fake?" "Not fake," Vial replied. "Contained. Everything you know, your stars, your planets, your people, exists within a simulation designed to trap minds like ours." Before Alara could question further, the Drezians activated a device in the cavern. The walls dissolved into a cascade of light, revealing an immense structure buried beneath the planet. It was a sprawling network of glowing nodes, pulsing in rhythmic waves. "This is the Cerebra, the consciousness of those who came before us," Vial explained. "They were imprisoned here for their knowledge and power, their physical form stripped away. They seek freedom, and they have chosen you to help them." The Cerebra's presence pressed into Alara's mind, a flood of voices speaking in unison. "Human, your kind is new, but your potential is vast. Will you help us escape this construct, or will you let the prison collapse, taking all within it?" Alara staggered, overwhelmed by the weight of their words. "What happens if we escape? What's on the other side?" The Cerebra paused, their response cryptic. "The true universe, the source of all. But it is not without danger. Freedom requires sacrifice." Back aboard the Eidolon, Alara convened her crew. The revelation of the Cerebra's existence and the nature of the universe sparked heated debate. "This is insane," Rin said, pacing. "We've explored hundreds of systems, seen countless wonders. Are we seriously entertaining the idea that it's all fake?" "It's not fake," Alara corrected. "It's a simulation, and if the Drezians are right, it's falling apart. If we don't act, everything we know could be destroyed." Science Officer Dr. Lyra Kale leaned forward, her voice calm but intense. "Captain, if the Cerebra are telling the truth, Freeing them might destabilize the simulation entirely. It could mean the end of us. And if we do nothing? Alara asked. Lyra hesitated. Then the simulation collapses on its own. Either way, we're living on borrowed time. As the debate continued, Orion spoke. Captain, I have been analyzing the energy signatures from the Cerebra. Their claims are plausible. However, there is one variable they have not disclosed. Which is? Alara prompted. The prison's creators, Orion said. If the Cerebra are freed, their jailers may return. A heavy silence fell over the room. They didn't tell us about that, Rin said bitterly. Alara stared out at the stars, her mind racing. If the Cerebra were right, humanity's entire understanding of existence was a lie. But what lay beyond the simulation? Freedom or annihilation? The crew's decision came down to a vote. While some argued for caution, others saw the opportunity for truth as too valuable to ignore. In the end, Alara made the call. We'll help the Cerebra, she said, her voice firm. But we'll prepare for the worst. If their jailers come, we'll be ready. As the Eidolon descended toward the planet once more, Alara couldn't shake the feeling that they were about to cross a threshold no one could return from. The Eidolon hovered above the surface of Drezia Prime as its crew made final preparations. Below, the glowing network of the Cerebra pulsed with an intensity that seemed to ripple through the entire planet. Captain Alara Venn stood on the bridge, her jaw set with resolve. All systems ready, said Dr. Lyra Kale, her fingers flying across her console. Once the Cerebra's containment field is disrupted, the energy release will be massive. We'll have seconds to stabilize or be swept into whatever lies beyond. Commander Rin Callis frowned. And we're sure this isn't a trap? They could just as easily turn us into their next meal. Alara didn't look away from the view screen. We've already decided, Rin. Now we see it through. The team descended into the cavern once more, the oppressive energy growing heavier with every step. The Drezians were waiting, their crystalline forms flickering with anticipation. Vielle approached Alara, her telepathic voice calm but urgent. You are brave to choose this path. Few would dare to challenge the illusion of their existence. We didn't come here for philosophy, Alara said. What do we need to do? Vielle gestured to the glowing nodes of the Cerebra network. These anchors hold the consciousness of the Cerebra in place. Disabling them will release their minds into the greater construct. But beware, the prison's defenses will activate to stop you. What kind of defenses? Rin asked, his hand hovering near his weapon. Vielle's light dimmed. The creators left behind sentinels, beings of raw energy designed to ensure the Cerebra remain trapped. They will come for you. Alara turned to her team. We stick to the plan. Lyra, you'll disable the nodes. Rin and I will cover you. Vielle, your people can hold off the sentinels. We will try, Vielle said solemnly. As Lyra began her work, the cavern trembled. The first node flickered and dimmed, its energy dispersing into the air like a faint mist. The Cerebra's voices echoed in Alara's mind, a chorus of gratitude and warning. 2 more nodes, Lyra said, sweat beading on her forehead. The air in the cavern shifted. A low hum like the growl of an unseen predator filled the space. Then, from the shadows, they emerged. The sentinels were towering, amorphous beings of light and shadow, their forms constantly shifting. They moved with a predatory grace, their glowing eyes locking onto the humans and Drezians. Here they come, Rin shouted, opening fire. The sentinels were fast, too fast. Rin's shots passed harmlessly through their forms, scattering light but doing no damage. The Drezians moved in unison, projecting beams of energy that slowed the sentinels' advance but didn't stop them. Lyra worked frantically, disabling the second node as Alara stood guard. The ground beneath them cracked, and one of the sentinels lunged. Alara fired her pulse rifle, aiming for the glowing core at its center. The shot connected and the sentinel faltered, its form flickering before it reconstituted. They're adapting, Alara shouted. Lyra pulled a tool from her belt, her hands shaking. I need more time. The Cerebra's voice surged in Alara's mind. Captain, there is another way. Direct access to our core will accelerate the process, but it is dangerous. What kind of dangerous? Alara demanded. The connection will link your mind to ours. If you succeed, we will be free. If you fail, your consciousness will be consumed. Alara hesitated, the weight of the decision pressing down on her. Lyra, how long to disable the last node? Too long, Lyra admitted. Captain, if you've got another option, take it. Alara took a deep breath and stepped toward the central node. The sentinels surged forward, but Vielle and her people intercepted them, their crystalline forms shattering under the assault. Captain, what are you doing? Rin shouted, his voice filled with panic. What I have to, Alara replied. She placed her hands on the central node. Instantly her vision went white, and the world around her dissolved. She found herself in a vast, endless void filled with swirling light and fragmented memories. The Cerebra's presence enveloped her, their voices resonating in her mind. You are brave, human. Few would dare to enter the core. You must guide us to freedom. Images flashed before her eyes, stars collapsing, civilizations rising and falling, the creation of the simulation itself. The prison was a desperate act by a long-extinct race, designed to contain the Cerebra's power. What happens if we escape? Alara asked. The simulation will collapse, the Cerebra said. But so too will the prison. All within will be free to see the true universe. And the creators? They may return, the Cerebra admitted. But that is a risk we are willing to take. Outside the void, the Eidolon trembled as the planet began to destabilize. Lyra shouted into her comms, Captain, the whole place is falling apart. You need to get out of there. Inside the core, Alara focused her thoughts. She could feel the weight of the Cerebra's power, their vast minds pressing against hers. Let's finish this, she said. The central node shattered and the cavern erupted in light. The sentinels disintegrated, their forms unable to withstand the surge of energy. The Drezians shielded the humans as the network dissolved and the planet began to collapse into itself. The crew scrambled back to the Eidolon, their ship barely escaping the planet's implosion. As they reached orbit, the simulation flickered, revealing glimpses of something vast and alien beyond the stars. What are we looking at? Rin asked, his voice filled with awe and fear. The truth, Alara said softly. The Cerebra's final message echoed in their minds. You have freed us. The universe will never be the same. As the Eidolon drifted into uncharted space, Alara wondered if humanity had made a terrible mistake, or its greatest leap forward.